Are you not edutained? This is a Volothamp modulus tautology. I know my voice is all over the place right now. I'm just spitting the thoughts. Um, Jumped on for a quick one, and I'll get this up ASAP. I think I'm gonna share this to both platforms, just to get my voice over on Facebook a little bit. Because what I'm seeing on Facebook is so whack right now. It's international quote unquote hip hop, right? But it's actually rap music, like, so it's their version of rap music, and so you're seeing a lot of just the funny stuff, the pranks, the exploitation. It's like we have international exploitation going on right now, and it's funny to me because it's real. Like, it ain't, I mean, I get it. It's cool, and because even back in the day it was, that's why we was able to start making movies, or Hollywood has started recognizing, what we were as a culture. But it was more than just a culture, it was a community. It was a consciousness that we were creating, because we are the children of the 1960 civil rights movement. That's what hip hop truly is. And yes, I'm repetitive on that, but we have to make note to that, and give credit where credit is due. And we do look at the Bronx being the mecca of our culture. Now, we were doing it all across the country, even back in the 70s, because, like I said, we're the children of the 1960s movies. So back in the 60s, my parents used to be in the basement, and it'd be a basement party, and next thing I know, from the legends we heard that I'm hearing, because I was an infant back in the 70s, and they would play James Brown, "I'm Black and I'm Proud," right? They'd be in the basement, courting each other. They used to call it courting, courting, right? It's you like her, he likes you. Y'all go to the thing, sneak some booze down there, and there it is, So, I mean, and that's why, like, Cooley High, if we was to go hip hop movies, that's why Cooley High is considered one of the first hip hop movies. That's not to diss the other black exploitation movies. Now, we do, as we grew up, we started looking back at those movies, Superfly, the Mac, et cetera, et cetera, at those old black, Kofi and what's her name? Foxy Brown. Shout out to, I gotta give, shout out to the ladies too, right? Pam Grier. Shout out to Pam Grier. Foxy Brown, one of my favorite movies of all time. So that's why I give what's the white boy name as a director? The same as Django, Quentin Tarantino. That's why I give Quentin Tarantino much props and thanks for even for being inspired by our culture, and coming up with movies that, I mean, there is a little hate from Spike Lee, because Spike Lee can only give us one aspect, and he was able to give us another aspect, and give freedom to the actors, because they brought, the Samuel L. Jackson, the Pam Grier, they brought Foxy Brown, that movie, to be as classic and as iconic as it is, and the same with the Django. Like, he let the actors really bring it out. What the slave, like, that's what made it a different kind of movie about slavery than the Roots. Roots was his own thing, but that's back in the 70s or whatever. We know it was Hollywood and fictional. They had OJ running across the fields like like he's a running back, trained slave or whatever. He's a runaway slave in Africa, right? So it's funny, but to those in the know, we know that it's part of make believe. There's a lot of untruth to it, but there's a lot of truth in it also, and we have to distinguish what's false and what's true for the children, and that's what's not going on in the black community. And that's the kind of conversations that I've been having with people online. But the algorithm, or trolls more so, those that want to be the leader and have their own microphone, and it's like, wait, have your own microphone, but don't come around here calling me out my name, and think that I'm just going to let you call me out my name and not come back at your neck. And then when I come back at your neck, then you want to flag my post, or you want to, you want to get offended, or act like, right, like I'm the bully, right? Like that's what's corny. Like you throwing stones, I'm gonna throw stones right back at you. Like I told you, I'm not the one, right? I'm next to the one. You know what I mean? The one say y'all pull. What's the little girl name? I don't even know. It don't matter. You know what I mean? Y'all pull up a 304 and start asking stupid questions like, should we stone her? Like, we about to stone all of y'all. Right? That's when I look at the Messiah and put the stone down. Like, he don't know me. Like, he judging us. Right? Why are you judging us? Like, nah, we not doing that. We don't lust our women. We love God. So we like our women, you know what I mean? They cool and everything, but God is first. So all this lusting and sinning and nah, we don't condone that. And then y'all started the judgment. Like, when you start the judgment, be prepared to maybe catch a stone. And I'm talking metaphorically. Because I'm just using my words. See, back in the day when we was children, we used to go, sticks and stones may break our bones, but words will never hurt us, right? And now they want to say, well, that's gay. Like, whoa. You about to get a stone thrown at you, right? We trying to let you know that, we just having fun. You know what I mean? He's my friend. Like, yeah, I might, diss him a little bit. And, you know what I mean? And shout out to Chris. I was about to call him Patches. But my man Chris, I think Chris got me by a year. I'm not even 100%, but he has an older brother, Niz. And, we used to, break dance and battle. Like, that's how we used to battle and fight. Like, all right, you ain't like that. And then you start dancing. Like, that's what B Street was about, right? We started breaking that so that we can stop fighting. That's the Enlightenment. So when Beat Street came out, I was 13. It was like one of the first movies that I was able to go to. Me, Byron, and Ronald, rest in peace, went to go see it. Those are my neighbors. And it was like one of the first movies. It's like, I'm older now, and I can go to the movies with my two friends, and you know what I mean, kind of a thing. And their mom was kind of tight with, my mom was the tightest, but their moms might have been even tighter, right? And letting us just free reign and walk the whole neighborhood because, you know what I mean, you had knuckleheads in the neighborhood, So, one time I might have been 12, 13, just old enough to finally walk to the mall. And I'm walking to the mall to help my Byron bring groceries because, they didn't have a car. So I used to help, I used to walk to the store, the Pathmark on Ivy Hill Road with their mom and help them carry the coat, just to get out and with my friends, So we would walk there with mom or his mom, you know what I mean? And if my mom was available, because she used to, part-time babysit for us, quote unquote babysit because we was 12, 13 at the time. So my mom didn't, I can't pay the babysitter all the time, you know what I mean? So as a neighborhood, we used to work together like that. So we would walk to the store and, bring the groceries back on old shopping cart that had wheels on it with moms. And moms, Miss Naomi, that's the moms, would, lecture and give lessons about life. And usually it was probably biblical. Because she was a very religious person, and she instilled that in her three boys. Shout out to D Real. I gotta catch up with their youngest brother, and D Real only got me. I only got D Real by a year, and then my younger brother Courtney's right a year behind him or something like that. So we were literally like 1 year apart from my younger brother all the way up. Well, we had two other young boys on the block. Shout out to Jitterbug and Curtis. Um, Me and Mike's next door was same age. Mike might have had me by like 5 months. I think Byron might have had me by like 5, 6 months, right? One's older than the other. I can't remember. I think Mike might be a December baby, but but there it is. Like we would, but one time, yeah, I was walking to the mall, and I was just old enough, and then five guys jumped me, and so we took it as you know as being funny, and but at the same time, like, yo, man, y'all can't be jumping people like that. Like, so I went to go get B, right, and he had all his mom groceries. Like, yo, man, we gotta know we supposed to take your mom groceries back home. We gonna walk this way, try to avoid these dudes. You know what I mean? Because I was walking across the graveyard, like it was open field, so it was you couldn't. It wasn't in the hood. So they caught me off guard. But I just brushed it off. We knew who they are, you know what I mean? And it found out they was another friend's cousins. And shout out to Spinny Bang, that was his cousins or whatever. And Spinny Bang was with his other cousin, you know what I mean? And he got jumped one time by the same guy. So it's like it's like family jumping each other, partially fun, partially, just to get some cash, stick your hand in another man's pocket kind of thing, because they rob, trying to steal from you, and it's corny that, what I mean, dudes be doing that back then, but we didn't have knives, right? Like, we wasn't, I'm gonna use a knife to poke these boys, like that wasn't part of our thing. So I do remember one time we was breakdancing. I might have been 12, 13, because Wild Style came out the year before, so we was already hip to what hip hop was before Beat Street. I don't think we didn't watch Wild Style, but the older heads used to tell us about Wild Style. But I knew Beat Street was our movie because I was 13 when it came out. The movie was PG, but it was just before PG-13 movies came out. So yeah, it is like a PG-13 kind of a movie, but I mean, we would cut out the board, and we used to like cut out these big refrigerator boards, and we was in front of our house, and we was dancing. And then these guys from up Wadsworth came down to beat up. I think the kid name was Smiley from Temple Road, and I do remember Nicky Floyd's cousin or brother asking me or Byron to go in the house and get a knife. It's like, what? Like, no, dude, we don't. It ain't that serious. Like, you know what I mean? We ain't trying to knuckle up, but we, you know what I mean? And 10-1, like I said, Smiley was the light skinned boy, and brothers used to be hating on the light skinned boys because, you know what I mean, the girls be loving the light skinned boys or whatever, or so much colorism or whatever going on. And we was cool with Smiley, so it was like we trying to defend him, but I think he might have been a year or two older, and I don't think Niz was there, so it wasn't our full, block there to protect, the other block over. But it's like little dumb things like that used to happen because of the policing. You know what I mean? Pops was probably at work or whatever, so you know what I mean? It was just the kids or whatever on the block doing that day or whatever. So, but these are the so-called turf wars that used to go on, and that's why it is sad today to be hearing the kid stabbing the city. It was not just that one. That one is being highlighted because one is black and one is white, of course. But every day somebody, another kid is stabbing another kid. So it's not necessarily a gun problem. That's what my moral thing is. We do have the right to bear arms, but I'm from that old school, and that's what Friday, the moral story of the Friday was. Shout out to Ice Cube for a classic movie, right? That's the Gen Y's movie. That I'm gonna put the gun down, and I'm gonna knuckle up. Yeah, and he finally hit him with a brick, but that was a part of the Looney Tune of it. You know what I mean? You don't want to hit people with bricks too, but it is David and Goliath, and Goliath has a unfair advantage sometimes. So little David, had to pull out the slingshot and bust him in the head. You know what I'm saying? So It's a classic biblical tale. So sometimes you find yourself in that situation. You know what I mean? So they nervous about my son because he's 13. He turning 14 soon, but he's the Goliath. He's already about to be 6'6", 6'7". So I find it funny because whenever I hear the stories of the kids or him getting to a tussle or whatever, and or the time that I've seen him in a tussle, and I come over and it's like, all right, what y'all doing to my son? And then I see him surrounded by 20 kids, and they all, hey, calm down, Charles. Calm down, C4. It's okay. Because he's ready to like, and I'm talking to him, talking to him. He's like, Daddy, I'm about to murder them all. I say, I know, don't do it though. You know what I mean? And we go through our love God, our Father, all the time, hip hop life, love one. So it ain't about, you know what I mean, killing all the children. It's about loving, you know, the experience that you're going through. Yeah, you're angry right now, but we're gonna get through this together. So that's the beauty of it, right? That's the real beauty. So I'm not here to complain. I'm here to teach y'all. I mean, just to share some knowledge, wisdom, and understanding to help everybody achieve freedom, justice, and equality. So I set this up to play a little video and trying to, you know, set it up a little bit because I wanted to do more than just sit here and give old hip hop stories, you know. I wanted to, you know what I mean, add a little something, add a little real of what's going on. So, you know, it is what it is. Of course, now as y'all can hear some of what I'm doing in the background, but I'm trying to play a little bit and set it up a new way of doing this kind of a show. So it is what it is, you know. Hopefully this all comes out right, and I'm letting a commercial play in the background. This is fair use for the 1970, you know, First Amendment, you know, freedom of speech. I'm using this content. It's going to be some Tim Black, and I'm using it for educational purposes, fair use, et cetera, et cetera. I got to start, you know, because that's why I'm thinking I'm gonna share this to Facebook, because I'll share something over in Facebook and it's or something that I'm doing over here on YouTube, and they don't have a clue what I'm talking about because they're so anti YouTube that they you know, they don't come over here, so they don't know what I'm talking about. So when I do finally talk to them one to one, it's like, I don't know what you're talking about because you're only paying attention to, you know, Barack Obama. And it's, you know, Barack Obama's a waste of time because Barack Obama is still lying. Like, that's probably one of my biggest issues with him, is that he's the number one African American lawyer, right? I'm cutting that on, let you know it's Tim Black. He's the number one African American lawyer, and here he is still lying about what's going on in the world. Like, dude, nah, you got to stop lying. That's why, like, y'all have to transform the Democratic Party into something else if you still want to be like the president, the number one African American lawyer to help represent African Americans, right? I say I'm a foundational Black American. There's a difference between foundational Black Americans and African Americans. You know, I'm just keeping it 100. So, but he wants to be known as the, you know, the greatest African American lawyer of all time, and it's like, all right, but why are you still lying about us being one Black people when you're more like, you know, colored person, a person of color, you know, diversity is what they like to use. Like, these are the terms they like to use to represent Hispanics, immigrants, you know, like, we're diverse people. And it's like, but I'm talking about my dad's dad, we all got the same name. So my name goes all the way back to 1915, and my dad's father his mother was Native American. So what does that make me? Doesn't that make me a Native American, right? Like, because my lineage, it's a lineage-based understanding, and we're saying that our roots are so tied into to America, this American soil, that I can go back to 1526 Carolinas, and my people were here already. Like, so why am I still being put at the back of the line when it comes to grievances? And when I start speaking about my nationality, it's everybody starts talking about, I'm a sellout to my people, right? And it's like, well, dude calling me a sellout, and then I'm not allowed to throw the metaphorical stone at him, because then he's gonna cry like a little girl, right? If he was face to face and I punch him in the nose, then he cry, he assaulted me because I called him a coon. Like seriously, like, you know what I'm saying? They can call me a coon all day, but I'm sitting here explaining how to integrate functions over intervals. That's a mathematical understanding of how to, find the area underneath the curve, like real mathematics. And this is what I teach my son, and I want to share this with other children, and even in the neighborhood. But when I'm dealing with, real deadbeat dads and people telling me to step up, and it's like, all right, well, I need the children to come, and they deadbeat dads want to do a drive-by on me. Like, seriously? Like, you know what I mean? Or try to sabotage what I'm trying to build. Like, that's where the ignorance comes in and out. So, but I had to ramble on about that real quick. And I don't care if, y'all upset about it. Like, but if I'm telling y'all I'm keeping it straight mathematics, and I'm keeping it straight, like real love, and then y'all want to be like, that's not love. Like, y'all want to come at me with the not, and don't have any understanding of the art of logical thinking or the laws of reasoning, then I'm wasting my time even talking to you. Because those are the bases, these are the prerequisites for game theory, group theory, and something that we adopted, which is called color theory. Because yes, we are black people. Now they just want to say black or brown. Like, there's a reason why they only want to give you two colors. Because if you add red, if you add yellow, if you add, now you're starting about 4 different colors, and now you're talking about different shades and how beautiful people can truly be. But we added so much negative connotations to those colors that now they want to change it to almond and golden and rose. And then who's the almond people? I guess they're a bunch of nuts. Like, we understand the underlying tone to it, right? That's why I'm calling Derek a coconut, a milk toast coconut. Because as soon as I say something negative about Joe Biden, he wants to call me a coon. Like, stop, yo. Seriously. You know what I mean? Instead of accepting the lesson that I'm trying to share with the people, and having more nuts come around, coconuts come around, and flagging my page, all right? Instead of letting me, let me shine a little bit. Don't be coming around here trying to kill my shine because you got mental health issues going on with yourself, dude. You know what I mean? Because you looking in the mirror going, I'm Hawaiian, and they might drop us off from being the 50th state, sucker. But I'm just keeping it 100. I'm just, sharing peace. All right? Peace be with you, bro. You know what I mean? Figure out what's wrong with you. Then go build something dope, yo. You can do it. But stop screaming at black people because they talking about making America great again, and you want to be like they on the nutsack of Donald Trump like that. All right? They telling you, I ain't on this nuts. I ain't into that. Right? I tell you, I ain't into that, yo. Now you got me looking like, oh, he hates the LGBTQ. No. I don't hate the LGBTQIA+. God said he hates the LGBTQIA+. All right? Now that's between them and God. Now they want to say, God favors us. Like, all right, you sound like a complete fool. God favors one entity, and that's himself. That's why I love God. I love God. Hey, thank you for another Sabbath day. Okay, I celebrate every day like it is, right? And enjoy a walk in the park. You know what I mean? With my son. So that's what I do. All of y'all want to argue or whatever about, you know what I mean, this political system or religion or even scientific methodology. And don't understand the definition of methodology, or you're confusing methodology with ideology, right? Y'all don't know the differences between the two because y'all not familiar with game theory. The first game theory is flipping a coin, red or blue. Flip the coin, don't matter. But it's more than two colors. That's why the solution set isn't what it needs to be. You need at least four colors to have even distribution. But y'all so caught up on just the two colors, red and blue, when you need green too to actually be the primary colors, or cyan, yellow, and magenta, whatever y'all want to believe in, right? Black and white or light and dark are the opposite as far as light, what light truly is, or what matter truly is, light matter and dark matter, right? So, but we'll get more into that kind of understanding and that kind of deep discussion as we move from this potential energy that I'm giving you and make it more kinetic. That's knowledge turning into wisdom. So hit the like button, subscribe, and share. And my bad on the Jason. You know what I'm saying? My bad on the Jason. Let's see if we can get this working.
Next on deck with Tim
So
Black.
y'all should be hearing it. I'm gonna mute my mic.
Is that the right wing, hello Scott, has taken advantage of this situation, I think, quite cleverly, quite wisely. They've played into a weakness.
What situation?
The situation of media being under attack. And so they've created a situation where...
You've almost got it. Keep going.
What
the right wing is taking advantage of is finally the American people saying enough is enough. They're tired of feeling like the mass media screens out one viewpoint versus another in political coverage. They're tired of media institutions favoring one party over another. They're tired of narratives over factual stories. If I had any advice for 60 Minutes or anybody else, it would be just cover the news and try to be fair about it and stop putting your finger on the scale, especially during campaigns.
You're talking about the old mass media myth that you could have this thing that was in the middle. The Walter Cronkite saying, that's the way it is, when it wasn't for many Americans the way it was. When people were pissed off.
People back in those days trusted the media, did they not?
No, they just couldn't be heard. Because there was no two-way. Now we have the internet.
Look at the Gallup polling. It was here, and now it's here. It's fallen off of a cliff.
Yeah, we do have that Gallup polling about trust in media, and now, as in recent years, and let's be honest, Scott, a lot of this is driven by the rhetoric on your side of the aisle.
I mean, it's not. You think it's driven by the rhetoric and not the performance?
Absolutely.
But my point is this: if you're CBS or any other news outlet, the reason that you have lost trust ought to be obvious to you, and the way to fix it also ought to be obvious to you. It has nothing to do with Donald Trump and everything to do with the product. Just try to make a better product that appeals to more people. And the way you appeal to more people is by not crapping on half or more than half of the country because of their values and political viewpoints.
I think that is
what you'd end up with in that press room then is, and these are my words, the freak show that Trump wants. Trump tries to devalue media. Why should we value his freak show there? Leave it to the freaks.
I think calling them freaks.
I don't think there's any disagreement on that, by the way.
I mean, he called these new media sources the freak show. They're not freaks. They have audiences.
Some of them are.
They have audiences, and there's a reason that they're.
My bad. I stepped away and y'all got the gist of it. I don't know why it cut off on the main screen. We'll figure all that out. So we'll figure that out. Let's see if I can get it back. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, it's here we got some dude that's clearly on the Republican side, right, or the right, saying that things like myself aren't the freak shows, right? I'm like, you know, and that's why I gave y'all a good understanding of where I'm coming from as far as being the culture. A long time ago, I said I am hip hop, right? A lot of y'all don't say that. Y'all don't claim to that. Y'all even say I'm Christian, and then here y'all go throwing rocks at hip hop culture, right? When y'all know that some of the bars that I'll be sharing and you know, the lyrics, should I say, is some of the most intelligent things of all time, right? Rakim, when he was, you know, on his first album, he said, I was a fiend. Like, he used to fiend for the microphone. Before I became a teen, I melted microphones instead of cones of ice cream. Using orientated, so when hip-hop was originated, it fitted like pieces of puzzle, complicated. I grab the mic and try to say yes, Saul. They try to take it and say that I'm too small. Cool, because I don't get upset. I kick a hole in the speaker, pull the plug, then I jet. Like, yes, that's where I'm coming from, right? These were Ice-T in them, you know, and I'm messing with Ice-T because I'm just recently found out. I knew he was an older head, but he's actually a baby boomer. He's born before 1960. You know what I mean? Spike Lee. Spike Lee is actually the first, if y'all want to say who's the first Pookie and Ray Ray, Spike Lee is. As far as Hollywood, and she gotta have it, right? He's a baby boomer, right? 1960 and to 1979, those are Generation X, I consider, and that's what I consider Barack Obama. He's Generation X. So he's coming in, and he's not one of the kids that said, I am hip hop, right? This is something that Jay-Z and what's the name gave him. And you see how he can't help Jay-Z in them because he still wants to lie. He has to stop the lying. I'll be back with more and breaking it down even better for y'all. All right. One God, our Father, art of time, hip hop life. Love one, right? Motherhood. Like one mother. Everybody gets one mother. God is our Father. Stop fighting over each other over the microphone. Just enjoy the lyrics that whoever's on the mic just gave you. All right? One God, our Father, art of time, hip hop life, love one. That is God is love, hip hop is life, time is holy. Stop murdering each other over it. It's okay to, you know, get angry, swing on somebody, but y'all want to sucker punch people and then get, you know what I mean? And if you don't knock them out, right? Be prepared to, you know what I mean? Get hands back, help put back on you. All right, but other than that, spread love. Stop all this murder, right? Because money is nothing more than the fourth dimensional illusion that really doesn't exist. So that's why it's important to love God and not money. Peace.